Navigator, report.
We have arrived in the Terran system, Captain. And Starfleet. Well, so this is it. We're finally here.
6 months later than we should have been, or more. Doesn't matter. In Sillian space, time has very little meaning. Easy for you to say. We're actually late for class. Very late for class. Yes, very late. I bet Captain Pickerley probably thinks that something happened to us. Well, a lot of things did happen to us, but we're here now. All right, then. Signal the planet. Hail the Starfleet station. Aye, Captain.
Greetings, Starship Chimera. We were not expecting you to return this soon from your mission.
Admiral, we were not expecting to. However, we were actually late getting to the Academy.
I look forward to your report.
We will report when we get there. It's odd that. What's going on? Has there been some sort of invasion of the Federation? Some sort of gooey takeover? Bluegills or something? The Borg? What? No, it's just strange, like it's surreal. You don't suppose we're still in some sort of weird simulation or trapped on a planet or something? I hope that's not the case, because if this is just a dream, that'd be annoying.
Yes, that it would. We're returning to Starfleet. It would appear so. Begin docking maneuvers. Yes, sir.
So, Mr. Mahoney, does everything check out?
It does. We're here, and this is Sillian Earth.
Dr. Tabby. It checks out, and we're not infected by the alien virus or the Zeldanian Nintendosis. Everything seems to be fine. So even though the alien ship encountered the girls in the last episode, we didn't get infected. Can confirm we did not get infected, Captain. Have we done all the checks possible with biofilters and all that? Yes, Captain. There's no sign of alien intruders, parasites, critters, or anything weird on the ship.
There's something unusual on the ship, but familiar.
Oh yeah? What's that?
Well, there's a half bluegill, half tribble stowed away on the ship. It's in the cargo bay. It's called Peppermint. Still there? What has it been eating?
Hopefully not members of the crew.
It's probably in the cargo storage. But explain a few missing items.
Cargo storage containers? Well, I guess you're going to have to worry about that later. I suggest we get him quarters on the station.
That'll go with our station personnel so well. Here you go. Have a 9-foot-long tribble.
Let's move if the Elysians are going to be a threat to the galaxy. We have to warn them. You really think that one Elysian with the clones is going to have a bunch of followers now? Well, there's no telling. The one in our universe could do that too. That's true, but it would be a little strange.
We'll figure it out eventually. All right, then.
Well, let's go to the transfer room, the docking port. Yes, let's move over there. I'm sure the reports will be quite bizarre and unexplainable, but it is Silly Trek, so expect it to be unexplainable. Hi, Admiral. I see you're here.
Yes, Captain Locarno. We've had no sightings of the Elysian uprising. Perhaps it was only negated to the one universe. However, we kept defenses up just in case. It's yellow alert.
That's good, and very well. 2 of my crewmen must be transferred to Starfleet Academy as soon as possible.
Yes, Tamm and Kestra Pickerley.
Have you been expecting them? I mean, we're late.
Are you? I don't think you're late.
But we're several months out getting back. How could we be late?
It is Sillian space. No one's ever truly late.
Oh, really?
No, space and time here have a different meaning, Captain Locarno. In fact, you're technically not even here.
Oh, great.
Captain Locarno, how wonderful to see you again. Junior, stand up. That's better. Ah, boy.
Captain's log, stardate 4304.11, 809.82.12, November 12, 2404. At last, I think we're in the stardate. A moment ago, our crew were at the starbase, returning to Earth, and now, for some reason, we find ourselves scattered, but nearby. It appeared to be during a regular day, but then Q and his son showed up. All right, Q, what's the test this time?
But if I told you that, it wouldn't be a surprise. The hall is rented. The orchestra's engaged. It's trying to see if you could dance.
Q, enough of your parlor tricks. What have you done to me and my crew?
Nothing just yet, or it already happened. But when you're a Q, everything happens.
Is it because it's my birthday, or because I'm taking one final cruise on the Chimera?
No, but happy birthday. Yeah, thanks. What are we going to do, Father? Something cruel and sadistic, or funny and outlandish? Patience, my boy. I would say a little both.
Well, whatever this test is, I'm ready to face it.
You really have gone where No one dared go before, but your greatest challenge awaits on the planet's surface.
But Q, get on with it.
Haste makes waste, I always say. You do? No.
We go Pine Hill.
What are you doing, Q?
Wherever, not whatever.
Captain, how did I get here? Admiral, I have no idea. But now that we're here, I guess we have to make the best of it.
Well, my dear, we should probably start out by making out immediately.
That'd be strange, if not funny.
I am, aren't I? Been a long time since I was commander of the Chimera. So, what are we doing here? Did you make someone mad and tick someone off out there?
Well, we've been to several universes together and then other timelines, and it's quite a strange experience. But we're back here now, and I was just bringing the cadets to the academy.
I see. I guess it didn't work out too well.
Perhaps we can make out later. Let's find out what's going on over there. That structure resembles an old school. Perhaps we can learn something from it. Yes, let's go in that direction.
Admiral Locarno and Captain Locarno, what is going on here? Why am I here with you? We did not beam down.
I think someone is messing with us, Mr. Rishenko. Well, that's very messy. What's the last thing you remember, Mr. O'Brien? We were in space dock, and we were about to dock. And then we were just here. Let's see. Could there have been a flash of light? It could have been. It was very confusing. I don't know what exactly happened over there. But not all of us are here.
So what is this place?
Why, it's Pine Hill.
Are you certain that it's the Pine Hill?
If not, it's a convincing replica. I want to understand the history books. So this is the Pine Hill where the original Sillians came from.
It seems annoying and cute. I do not like annoying or cute.
No, I don't imagine you do.
I do not.
But this is the Pine Hill as it appeared during the visit that Cal Hazel made in the year 2022, his time.
I noticed that, which means the Sillian children haven't been here for decades, possibly since 1990 roughly.
Why do you suppose Qute would send us here?
Probably some sort of test. He likes those.
That's what I'm afraid of.
Be cautious. Don't make any sudden moves. After all, this version of Pine Hill has a ninja academy.
What? Possibly Jamie Messie's influence.
Late in the 21st century, young people were fascinated with the idea of ninjas and samurais and stuff. It appears to have blended over into the subsequent generations. Since when are you an expert on ninjas? I am not.
They are pretending to be ninjas. They are probably only Earth children.
I detect no actual weaponry in there.
I detect no people in there at all.
I knew the Sillian planets were underpopulated because they were all dreamed up by whatever Hazel and Halter thought was appropriate, but this is ridiculous.
Yeah, I never quite figured out how that works, even though I met them on several occasions. It isn't just you.
Well, they were originally Star Trek fans, and Starship Locations back then was called Silly Trek, and it was somehow manifested into reality by the appearance of Qute.
And that was even a little bit before the martial sportiest people started saying, your thoughts create reality all the time, and he can do, she can do, why not me, and all that.
We encountered them a few times. Yeah, they were just as annoying, but apparently less powerful than the Sillians.
Why would that be? It makes no sense. The Sillians should not be more powerful or less powerful. What's directing all of this? It's annoying.
Mr. Rishenko, you really are your father's son.
Thank you, sir.
What is going on here? Something to do with the school? Is it a reproduction of the original Pine Hill? Then perhaps we're supposed to find something here. What connects all this?
Besides Hazel and Halter, I have no idea. But I don't think they've been here in some time, and they haven't been in high school for over 30 years.
And it isn't high school anymore anyway.
We need to find out where the others went. Any scans indicating where they went?
Not at this time, but something could be jamming the signal.
Is it Sillian space doing that or proximity to the school? Probably both. It's a source of incredible power. Not sure why their imagination draws everyone to it.
Well, I can't believe they left me out of this. I guess since there's no need for a Klingon to go into battle and slay anyone on such a mission. We seem to be separated from the rest of the crew. Perhaps we should try and find them. How are we going to do that? Our sensors and communicators appear to be missing. I do not know, but something lies in that direction. There's some kind of mall over there, a shopping center. It looks abandoned. Across the street appears to be a restaurant. I wonder if this is product placement for something. Are you kidding? This isn't monetized. It's just a cheap fast food dive. I wonder what this Carl's Jr. is. Not my cup of tea. To determine where the rest of the crew are, we must go in the direction where we hear the most activity. There is something that way down the street. Well, we can't tell whether they're hostile or not. Let us go in that direction. Do you know anything from the history records? Here on Sillian Earth, a lot of the streets around here kind of look the same. I'm not sure. There's a strange man over there doing karate moves incorrectly. Perhaps he's insane. The planet is replete with insane people. Let us go away from that creature. Yes. This appears to be a housing tract of some kind. Suppose some kind of force brought us here. Down to the planet? Well, it's not like that hasn't happened before. I believe I have isolated some of the crew. They are down on that street, by the large fence area. Then let's go in that direction. Yes, very peculiar. Very strange. Heh, no kidding.
A multiverse in the Hollywood sense is different from a multiverse in the many worlds theory, as coined by the Big Thick website in 2023.
The Hollywood version posits that there are multiple Earths on top of each other, and multiple choices, and therefore you can go from one Earth to the next, to the next Earth, to the next, have a different choice happen on a different event happen, whereas all of the nature bearing is still habitable.
I get where you're going. In the Hollywood sense, they seem to think that the universe is more like a universe sandbox, and there's just a fictional story where you can set up your parameters and go from there, like Silly Track.
But just recently, somebody pointed out in the story that this is a bit like the physics story of Schrodinger's cat, whereas the other person made the witty joke that the cat survives because the cat never goes into the box and claws out the scientist's eyes.
I like it.
But physics posits that the nature of a multiverse is more like universes, completely separated by space and time, whereas similar events happen, which means you still have the same choices you made. It's already predetermined. You just have different universes where some determinations happen differently.
Which would be incredibly boring in a movie, because you wouldn't have anything happen. Everything would already be determined. It would be like watching sandpaper dry or something, or paint drying on a wall. Truer words were never spoken. Q, you did this, didn't you, Q? You're testing us, aren't you? You're the Q, the wildly space being who encountered us many times on our mission. What are you up to, you sneaky Midsummer Night's Dream villain? Oh, thou art an honest puck. Yes, I get it. I'm cute.
Yes, you're cute, whatever that means. A letter of the alphabet? It really made no sense. And it really doesn't make any sense in the real Star Trek universe either. And yes, we acknowledge, yes, we are clearly a Star Trek spoof.
Talk about breaking the fourth wall.
We do it all the time. The cat gets out of the box. What does the cat do? It gets out of the box anyway. Does it kill the scientist guy that put him in there?
This is Silly Trek. Nothing really dies. Perhaps we should get back to the makeout session. Q can watch. Oh my. I've seen everything. Nothing you two do is going to convince me otherwise. Or rather, nothing you do is ever going to convince me that it's shocking anyway. Oh my. Cute. Greetings, I am Q, and I am Q. I'm cute, and I'm responsible, and of penance, for all of this and all of that.
Q, why did you send us here? The girls need to go to the academy. Surely you know that. We're just wasting time.
Oh, I see. But don't you realize that we have all the time in the world, for I am the Mozart of space and time, of dimension. This is a multiverse, in case you didn't notice. What kind of a test is this? The original Sillians, they're all in their late 40s and early 50s now. They don't have any connection to your original mission, if you did right. That is precisely why the Academy officer stories are needed. You see, like on the other planet in the beginning of your voyage, there was a Q or something. They needed teen spirit, the moxie. We're here to get it back.
You can't be serious, are you? You can't just make people do what you want. That's evil. Some demigods you are.
No one ever directly said we were demigods. We were merely advanced a few times. With control over space and time. Not divine. Not exactly. We're not fully omnipotent. We should be, but we're not. I've always wondered why the Q are so interested in humanity and testing them. Doesn't make any sense. Why would they bother doing that?
It's very simple, dear boy. We were a lot like you once, full of ambition, pride, arrogance. We thought ourselves the only thing in the universe capable of doing what we do. Yes, but then we realized we weren't the only advanced species in the universe. There were a multitude of other creatures more advanced than us. The same profound arrogance. It's yours now.
Ridiculous. The Q is merely playing with us. I do not like this. Let me bash him in. Ha! Let me knock him down. And then we'll get out of here. Ah, yes, violence. The Klingon answer to everything. You really are the son of Mr. Worf, aren't you? I am amused. Q, I thought we were through this penance thing, and this ridiculous backstory about how my mother was suicidal. It's like the last time we met was written by an angst-stricken teenager. Mon Capitan, oh my, how I've missed you in the eternity since we were intimate. Amour pour toujours. Q, stop that. My love is a fever and you are the cure, especially now in that android body. I won't accidentally kill you this time. Q, enough of that. But this is Pine Hill. I recognize it. Yes, Why have you brought us here, Q? Well, the other me in the other universe that snatched you up 4 years ago and took you to that alternate future timeline and then back to 2024 by way of the Borg. Well, I created such a mess with that continuum that, well, we had to fix it. So yes, about that. We weren't finished. Damn you, Q. Why bring us back here, Q? Why? To make us suffer imaginable tortures.
Admiral Clark or Picard. I see we're all stuck here.
It would seem I should be explaining myself by the recollection of the cruelty that is here. Why, this is an exact replica of what Pine Hill looks like now. Yes, the children grown and gone, left by another generation of people that have no idea. But the energy of the Sillian universe still stays, like a Transformers matrix of leadership, granting the next generation unlimited Q-like powers. Q? That's ridiculous. Yes, even if they claim there are ninjas, clearly they cannot be. Ninjas are a fictional group. It is silly, sir.
Oh, just cute. That explains it. This old place looks like it's seen better days. School. Why would Q send us to the school? Some like a weird test from the Academy or something. Probably that dude is insane. True, he is insane.
I see some of the crew found us. We're over here.
Yes, it would seem they've appeared down the street, but we're next to the Josh Braun tree. Marvel at it.
What is Q up to? Why did he bring us here? Doesn't make sense. And really, I have no idea he was in love with me that much. Oh dear. I should have figured it out. How could I please a demigod?
Q, get out of the Josh Braun tree. It's a memorial from 1988.
Well, technically in 1989 they killed it and had to replant it. But sure, Josh Brauntree. Oh, you could be with me, Jean-Luc. Oh my.
So what are you going to show us? I'm sure it's some kind of test.
Well, I thought the Chimera crew should encounter similar forms to those which started it all some years ago. What is it now, 35 years? Oh my. Well, my reckoning anyway.
What are you talking about, Q?
Straight and to the point. Very well. We are here to explore that which is and never shall be. Wherever, of course. Yes, right here, right now. Just like we're in a cheesy John Hughes movie.
Don't give him any ideas.
Well, I've already done something like that. So not this time, no. You have something. The younger people have something. You lack it. And as you told her, that's what we seek.
Not the teen spirit thing again. Look, that doesn't happen. It can't just be like, I don't know, Peter Pan or something.
Ah, very astute. In fact, one time Hazel told me that when he was a young person, he'd been enamored of Peter Pan. Only because Peter was played by somebody named Mary Martin. It confused him. He thought that rather funny to tell me the story.
That's weird, but yeah, I recall that story too. Why is it the hetero characters in this story are so disturbed by being bi? It's ridiculous. You're living in the 21st century. Get a grip. I wonder where we are. This is a strange place. I'm not familiar with it. I'm not familiar with it either.
It seems to be a mall of some kind.
Something zapped us here and sent us here. We must figure out why. We are separated from the others. Maybe the aliens that clearly sent us here wanted to keep us out of the way while they had their fun. You think they're torturing the captain right now?
That has something to do with their command structure. They were in charge after all.
So we were just guests. Great. Well, I mean, I wasn't in command of the ship or anything, but still. This part of the planet is not familiar to me. Silly Earth. I imagine they can breathe the atmosphere. Yes, we can breathe the atmosphere. Otherwise, we'd be dead. Let's have a look around. Yes, let us attempt to figure out where we are.
Well, this is weird. It's like a fake karate ninja school or something. We seem to be a few of them around here. Well, we know about that.
Indeed, the Grandmaster was fake sometimes. And I guess some of her stuff was useful in the end. Just because, people could feel good about themselves. The cult stuff, no, that wasn't so good. The other stuff, that's alright to be in shape. You just want to avoid saying something in front of the ship's doctor and counselor. That's part of it, yes. Am I that obvious? What I never got is how the Lower Deck show works. I mean, technically it takes place in 2380, but it's produced in the 2020s. So you guys are actually younger than we are, yeah. Nah, nice deflection, but yes, we're actually younger than you, as actors on the show. Our show is being produced now. Am I to understand that on Lower Decks, your doctor actually is a female tabby cat? Did they not get the memo that I was in fact a Romulan? I don't know. I'm not one of the producers. I act on the show. I'm actually the bubbly Orion girl. Loosely based on me, of course, and on someone else from someone else's blog. They sort of grafted her together with you, because of Sillian realms. You'd think the producers doing the show would have shown them all about Sillian realms, don't you?
That would be highly unlikely for them to know what the Sillian realm show is, and imply that they have full knowledge of Hazel and Halter as well, even though I don't think they met. This guy also would imply that the overlords and the other characters from this Gemelt guy, that's what you're referring to, also created the same and they know who he is. It's unlikely. Perhaps not. Hey, that guy's familiar. It's Michael Tomat, Kimmy's third in command. Were you expecting someone else, Shadow Dancer? Ah, you and Chica Benita. Well, this is Father-Daughter Day or something. I did not expect that you would be behind the space ninja stuff around here. What's your angle? Well, I'm not behind it. I had to do something. The cult failed miserably and fell apart.
It wasn't even the ex-students that did it. It was a space play.
Indeed, Chica, that is what happened. It had nothing to do with you Xers, although it certainly did make things rather interesting in the end. I suppose you've read all about the fake trial.
Oh yes, we were keeping tabs on you. But we weren't a threat, and neither were you.
No, I've seen the amount of profound arrogance to think that you were the center of the universe and not the great Dr. Kim. It's cute that you think you won somehow, not your little internet games somehow. Makes a sense of power or meaning. I didn't come all this way to be belittled by the likes of you. Oh no, this is not a trap. Not by us anyway.
You came here all this way and organized a bizarre ninja school front, and then we're all about attracting people to your knockoff of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. You're insatiable.
I know, but that isn't what happened.
You there, what are we doing here? Seems we were pulled here as well. This planet looks really strange. I don't like it. There's not enough me here. You complain too much. I can see why in the other universes they found you profoundly annoying.
Well, at least we're off that planet from the beginning several months ago, yeah.
I gotta wonder whatever happened to Everest Girl. Well, she's basically copying you, so maybe whoever brought us here didn't care. No, she's not. She's her own individual person. Nobody in COL is an original person. They're all copies. They just think they're original because they can use the name original. I would know. I looked into it. What would you know? You're a holodeck recreation. You shouldn't even be alive or around or anything. I'm a flesh and blood humanoid. I was created from the DNA of the twins, Clena, Libby, and Chris. So I am fully human.
Tickle us, do we not laugh? Prick us, do we not bleed? Wrong us, do we not revenge? See, I know some Shakespeare. Hey, yeah, but I stole it from a movie, yeah.
Was that from Field of Dreams?
No, it's from Star Trek VI, the Klingon guy. To be or not to be, that is the question. It would seem that your Sillian Earth, there are powers, existing on their own, with a mind of their own. This place is like a matryoshka brain, but it's also its own thing, a playing field from which everything happens. It doesn't make any sense, but now we are no longer melded. And I got melded with him, because Sillian. That is true, we are now separated. In fact, we should have never been the same individual. It doesn't make sense. I was the TMS person, and you were just some weird evergreen college student. I had this one glorious attribute. And when I was a thespian of the theater, yes, and also, I could tell you the story of how, when I was on the stage, my belt snapped, and suddenly my pants came down. Cute, your pants came down. I suppose you thought that was an epiphany.
when it was in fact just slapstick. How would you know about that? You were merely a windsurfer champion and warp sailor. I was more than just a man, more than just a horny, horny man. In fact, I did everything, so I learned a few things along the way. So this isn't your first rodeo, is it? If you build it, they will come. Isn't that what you like to quote a lot? Michael stole that from Field of Dreams, a movie, which stole it from the Bible. Then again, your guru was stealing lines from the Bible and claiming she thought of them, and Aesop's fables and stuff like that. Oh yes, I'm familiar with that, and I knew she was doing it all the time. She especially liked the frog and scorpion one.
That is an Aesop's fable. It is from America, as well as the frog turning the milk into butter. That's another one. I'm also familiar with it.
I didn't write Field of Dreams, I just love the phrase. I like to say it over and over again. Don't you have some catchphrases you like to say over and over again? Well, I do, but some of them shouldn't be said in polite company. A favorite of the Grandmaster was he can do, she can do, why not me? However, it was told by an ex-student later online. Originally it was he can do, they can do, why not you? And she'd taken it from a recruiting poster, which makes a heck of a lot more sense. It would be very interesting to have met this Kyungi Kim. She seems like she's almost as hell-bent on things as me, and I like that. She did sound very driven, and I'm not sure I would follow that, though, because I'm kind of a loner. Yeah. We must figure out why we're here, and whoever has us, what they want. Are you sure you know who it is, or are you just guessing? It's a person and not an alien. We appear to be in one of the shopping malls near the legendary spot of where the Sillian children were. I know of this from history. After all, Hazel and Halter were in the class with us at Evergreen back in the day. And then they still had the teen spirit, even as adults. I thought they didn't have the teen spirit anymore when they were adults, and that's why we were looking for it. Well, now as I recall, one of them actually just turned 18 at the time, so that makes sense. The other was about 21. Why can't we just conjure them and have them explain it to us? Oh, I don't think it works that way, mate. You can't just conjure somebody, because that would just throw it all off. Besides, they're copies of copies. Just saying. So, now that I'm actually here and not on a blog I never posted on, you may ask me anything and I might answer. Very well. I hear you were into cougars back then. Wow. And one of those cougars was your master. Ew. Do you think that's a little gross? Now, let's not go into that. It was a long, long time ago. 18 years ago, in fact. Hardly relevant anymore. Yeah, besides, it was gross. You did? Well, I suppose I made it too. I mean, everybody posted there. But ironically, he didn't. I never bothered. My ex posted there a lot. But I didn't see any reason to. I had a new life, and I didn't want to have anything to do with the cult anymore. And I knew it was a cult, but I didn't do anything to stop it. You were around back in the day, weren't you? So were you actually the one that shagged the student on the Discovery weekend? Or was that the other guy? I want to know. You're funny. He and I were present when they had the encounter. However, I believe it was he who succeeded in going boldly where no one dared go before. If you build it, he will come. Oh, we did a lot, except after all the encounters after that. And there were the guru, let's just say that there were certain medical proclivities that needed to be dealt with after that. Yeah. What, you got the crabs? Let's not go there, Governor. He did get the crabs. Ha ha ha! I'm not going to say what it is or who gave it to me, but it was worse than the crabs. Well, I hope the two of you have straightened that out a long time ago, but that's between you and your mates, I guess. You did not get HIV from Grandmaster. I'm not holding a grudge or anything. Yes, it was all straightened out. Don't worry about it. But now that we're here, I'll make the best of it. Not through mating, just in case. These men, all they want to talk about is their private parts and their sexual conquest. It's disgusting. It's a furious thing. I don't know. I kind of think it's funny. But then again, I came from Pine Hill. So there you go. Oh, by the way, we're in the mall next to Pine Hill right now. I've never been to this Pine Hill. I've heard about it, but I've never been. Let us go there. What have we got to lose? Damn you, Q. Always making tests of everything. It's silly. What is it you want this time? You will give us what we want. I have searched the universe for something of this nature. Well, if you're looking for teen spirit, it really isn't a thing. Too many oddities have already occurred. Space-time continuum is warped by this weird story for so many years.
just fracturing it. This is all nonsense, Q. Behaving in this mystery. Have an idea what's going on. Perhaps some of your enemies are the ones controlling it. Again, you have no idea. Ah, Jean-Luc, how droll of you to think so. I am nearly omnipotent, and I would have known that to have happened. Due to our reckoning, in the year 2364, the Ventura D came to this strange school through the space warp, and encountered James T. Kirk and his crew from the Ventura A of the year 2288. We arrived on this world, and here it was 1988. The universe should be utterly fried by now if that was the case. Why would the Q do this? It does not make sense. If it was just to annoy you, that is ridiculous. Perhaps they've been looking for this youthful spirit forever, for years. But to them, it's only been 35 or 36 years or so. The Q seems genuinely confused. If it is a test from him, then it seemingly actually knows what he's talking about.
Could it be one of them messing with us? Another Q.
The Marshall Sporties people are not smart enough to pull that off. I doubt they're behind it.
But there's nothing we have on us that makes it possible for you to do what you're doing. Even if you got all the kids from the Academy and gathered them together in a room, you still wouldn't be able to do much with it. I investigated this in the months since we did our mission. The planet with the Miriam people, the Evergreen Estate planet, and I determined that the Federation has encountered a world like this before in the 2260s. The Enterprise, under Captain Pike, went to the planet where they sucked the life essence out of a single child who was chosen every now and then to power their computer. We don't support that any more than we did in the 2260s. Also, using the harnessed spirit energy of people is just wrong on so many levels.
Indeed, we were not here to harness energy from them either. We simply inadvertently ended up here several years ago, but it doesn't match up. And your what? Your little time period, such as years, decades, whatever. And we all know that the universe of Lucky Clerk actually was a typo. And it started the entire thing, the entire reboot of the universe, based on them having gotten the year wrong when they started. What are you talking about, Q? Who got the year wrong? Why, the creators, the makers, the producers of the show. The Starship Lucky Clerks show. That it was attempting to set the new show 20 years after the events of Starship Nemesis, which took place in 2379, and they set their story in 2399. Unfortunately, that did not match up. The show did not match up with the Sillian year behind it, 2396. The universe was thrown asunder. The cat jumped out of the box.
Let me get this straight. You're all upset because of a typo. We were just at a planet that was made from a typo. It's called Flodi, because Mark's cards couldn't spell Florida then, because he was in high school, and apparently they didn't teach spelling too good. Flodi, Florida, ridiculous. It was in the Flotter system.
You mean to tell me that you and the Q Continuum are worried because the universe of Sillian space doesn't line up with that of Star Trek anymore? She's right. That's ridiculous.
And that's part of it, you see. If they'd actually followed it as it appeared, it would have lined up correctly. You see, according to this planet's universe, Starship Nemesis came out in 2002. Thus, currently in 2023, that had been 21 years ago.
You mean that we're missing 5 years and it should be 2399 before the Picard show?
That's right. The entire universe is missing several years because of that event.
The Marvel snap happened here in Star Trek, but it was only a plague and it was stupid.
Oh, you. Why did it have to be you? Are you referring to me, huh?
No, I'm referring to him. The other Michael allegedly killed at the space warp clearly wasn't, or you wouldn't be here right now. Unless, of course, you're a changeling. No, the changeling story, well, that would be stupid if I was a changeling. Even my doppelganger wouldn't be that stupid.
Why do you insist on making fun of the great Dr. Kim?
They have nothing better to do. They probably don't work at all and spend all their entire lives on the internet, probably looking at furry porn. Well, I only look at Rule 34 of me. Of course, I draw the Rule 34 of me, because no one else will. You draw Rule 34 of yourself. Believe me,
Back in the day when we were both studs, youthful, anybody would drop the chance to draw Rule 34 with me.
You're too busy grandstanding to know enough. It's one of you, Gabriel, without having two of you, Michael.
Well, there's only two of you because Silly Trek wanted to hide the fact that one of you was not posting on Bullshitto, although the other one, well, didn't know about it at all. We're all copies of everyone anyway.
Yes, we're not actually the devils. You are the doppelgangers, as we discovered earlier in the season.
Is everything a TV show to you? Because you're not in the real world and you're not on Road Rules or whatever they call it now. Oh, I did one of those shows back in the day. It was a cameo. The Kyungi Kim show doesn't count. Yes, it does. I assume it would become the most successful show ever because she was in it. But I guess it wasn't. No, it wasn't very successful at all. It was only on public access. And they only made 24 episodes before it all went to pot.
This show is more successful than you will ever be, huh?
I've never professed to have a desire to be popular. Really? I thought everyone wanted to be popular. For instance, I was one of the greatest softball players ever, and my skills as an actor are unparalleled.
And how are you part of Starship Locations? I don't recall you from that show at all, and I watched it, and all of us did. But because of Enterprise, which had an awesome communications officer lady, it kind of resembled me a little bit.
I wasn't on Starship Locations. I wasn't on Location 2, The Adventures Anew, and well, the Flyer version. I was a member of the Flyer crew. Yes, of course, the most important member of the ship. Yes. No, I was also a member of On Location 2, The Adventures Anew, but my version, it was the Marshall Sportists, and we actually were really popular. Unlike you. Well, I don't remember you at any of the parties.
We should not squabble amongst ourselves. We must figure out why we're here. It's most like a Q, but why are we here? Gotta wrap it up, I think. All we need to do is get an internet blogger to come here. Then they will be included in Silly Trek. Perhaps I could conjure up someone I can think of. Let's see, how about Lindsay Ellis, who hasn't been on YouTube in a while? The nostalgia chick. Yes, come forth. Nah, nothing. Absolutely nothing. That's not the way it works. If we're copies of copies. But we're just here clicking our heels and spinning our wheels. And all those other metaphors. Well, Halter and Hazel aren't here, so there's that.
Well, Holy Cat was distracted recently several months ago because apparently Rumbly was interested in him, as opposed to my daughter. Yes, anyway, the Q and the others are over there, so we can ask them. But at a school.
There's the rest of them. The only cast from the original crew are missing. The ones we have been around a long time, unless you count the other universe and Muriel and Molly.
Yeah, I suppose we could conjure them out of thin air, too. What am I doing here? I was hanging out on Borath meditating, and now I'm here.
It is good to see you again, Aegir, if that is you.
No, it is me. I am back. Thanks to him, I guess.
We will have to discuss our previous arrangements at a later time, while we figure why Q would bring us together again. It appears the reason Q is doing this is because he wants to get back to the nostalgia that was the original cast of Pine Hill. The original characters vicariously through us copies.
It's not going to be about me. Why don't you conjure up some of the other Flyer people, so I can be with them as well? Then there'll be several characters that I can have back in the cast, and that would be awesome. You really are clueless, aren't you, Michael White Cloud Higini? No, I have no intention of bringing back the other Flyer doubles, but for the ones I wanted here.
What, Captain? We were on the tail and we were pulled here. What's going on? Why are we in this strange planet with Q? I have no use for him. He's a man. Well, an omnipotent space god being. But you know what I mean. Other than that time that we worked on the Awesome Channel.
I am touched that you remember me.
Q Jr., you're not my type.
Then prove it. Make out with her right now.
It's not how that works. No, Molly, he just wants us to kiss so we get two hot lesbians to make out. Well, at least they referred to that creepy Courage the Cowardly Dog episode with that cat with a thespian mask over him. Dear, that was a female cat, and the husband in the story was Wolf Jerk, as I recall. Yeah, it's kind of like what happened with that actual scandal years ago. Kind of wasn't. Okay.
Let's not talk about the channel scandal again. Owen might have a nervous breakdown. Yes, Counselor told him not to bring that up.
You know what's been missing through the rest of this episode? Mahoney. What happened to him?
Well, actually, I sent him somewhere where he would be living his fantasy life of having gotten a hold of a ton of Scotch whiskey. Why, I beamed him over to a space bar where he could totally get hammered. Oh, Captain, you would not believe it. It was amazing. There were little Scotch whiskey bottles as far as the eye could see, and vodka, and rum, and wine, and beers, and lagers, and all that sorts of amazing. It was like a treasure trove of drinking possibilities. Oh, no, I'm here. I know I'm a little tipsy. Can you ask me what that's about? Well, it looks like he'll be rejoining the Space 12 Steps program again before too long. Oh, come on. I'm not an alcoholic. I'm just as wrong that way. And all I'm not as amused and drunk as you think I are. Oh, ah.
I've never seen so much chunder come out of somebody.
Well, I have you know there's a lyric from an 80s song that goes, "Where women go and men chunder."
It's called The Land Down Under, and I thought the line was, "Where women go and men plunder." I know my Earth history.
She was already being taught the classics when Mr. Worst was teaching her them back on DS4.
In my previous host, I was married to Mr. Worst. He was very big. But now that I'm in this host, I couldn't possibly take him. We tried, but it didn't work. He's very big, if you know what I mean. Cover your ears, Roshenko.
Oh, yes, that's right. You were married to my father in another life, which technically makes you my stepmother. That is weird. But yes, nepotism, yes. I wonder how I didn't remember that one. I mean, I am from the land down under.
Yeah, and I hear your sister, I guess, is in Picard Season 3. Oh, Lucky Clerk Season 3. I should guess. On the likeness of General Chang, which would kind of make her my granddaughter. Which makes no sense. So yeah, sister, I guess. Makes more sense. I don't know. It doesn't make any sense. I've been waiting a long time for this. And now that I have you where I want you, I shall ask you all the things about what happened between you and my ex-wife. Well, it was apparently kind of the ex-husband, so she kind of screwed us both. Well, you had an affair with my mate. Well, so did you. Didn't you realize that everyone in COL was shagging everyone else? I really took an opportunity that I saw. You used Kyung-hee Kim to get what you want. I'm not sure why, but you didn't get any money out of the settlement. There was no settlement. They threw the case out at the last minute. You know that. We were there. Really, they didn't throw the case out. We charged you with assault and made you into a fool. Ha ha! And that was in order to make you suffer. Because otherwise, you wouldn't have. You thought I was on bullshit-o, even though the whole time it was Kitwell, and she was on bullshit-o. Not only that, she started Cult Master, which she then shut down. You didn't shut it down. We did so. COL shut it down. I happen to know we did so. So there. You were lying. You didn't shut it down. You don't know what happened to it, nor do you know what happened to something called Cult Slayer Us. It was also shut down by the people that were running it, not COL. How dare you? We have more power than you and shall use it now. No, it is I that will use the powers, because I have the Sillian powers. I've been studying the spirit they generate, and I believe I can use it to fight. You can't use it to fight, it's just team spirit. And where did you get a hold of that ability? Anyway, you don't have powers any more than I do. It's true that when we get older, our powers wane. But I still have enough to kick your butt, old man. Ha ha! Try it, you young punk. Well, we can't actually hurt each other, because here it's like Sillian space, and it's free sparring. Do you realize that we were both duped by the same woman, right? They both screwed us over. I moved on, but you didn't. But if we must fight, then so be it. I would have thought you would have an affair with my current mistress as well. I don't even know who that is. I'm assuming it's no longer the girl from 2010. I wouldn't have done her anyway. You liked Kitwell because she had messed up knees and couldn't run away. You couldn't satisfy a body pillow woman. You leave my body pillow women out of this. Dare you Will Smith me.
It's under the lens. Ah. Oh.
Those men are incompetent. How did they ever lead the parts of the cult that they were in? No, but I don't know. It's odd. I mean, the older one clearly is a blowhard, nice and full of himself, but probably because he's rich. And the names have been changed just because he might have a better lawyer. Anyway, this is amusing. I suppose back in the day this Gabriel Lagini was a formidable warrior. Not anymore. Ken, come with me if you want to live. Why should I go with you? It was you who betrayed the fleet during the Great Battle of 2007, which was also 2383. I did not intentionally. How was I supposed to know that the planet far out was not only inhabited, but well armed? They had a board ship. Grovel for your excuses. You could have defeated the ex-students long ago by going to the Sillian realm and convincing this Halter person to help us. What? Halter would not have helped us, not even if it was from the Flodai planet. He didn't like the cult either. He just wasn't in the cult. You don't know that. He got bored of the Silly Trek game because he used his powers to eliminate Hazel and his group before it ever got started, before Kiki ever got the idea in his head to turn on us as well. Don't you get it? They were using us against each other. They would make up stories about us and then turn around and say, oh, such and such person gave me this information. They never did give any information. It was just all guessing. Do you really think that only a dozen ex-students were able to pull that off, when thousands went through the martial arts school and only hundreds went to the cult? Surely we would have figured out that we were being played. We were being played, but we were after the essence, the key energy, the teen spirit, the youthful energy, and we were just not getting it anymore. We got old. Yeah, there was nothing to do. We got old, and now we've lost it, and time has gone on. A blink of an eye, it's your fault. So I'm not here to join you. I'm here to end you. You've got to be kidding. You can't possibly take me. You taught me everything you know. Ha! Not everything. Like, for instance, I discovered the story about the piano teacher. It was true. No, it wasn't. I didn't know what a piano was. Come on. I did screw up the recital. I messed it up. Then I broke my own trophies. That is not what I was referring to. However, thanks for the honesty. Now prepare to face me in battle. You shall not win. I know techniques. You don't know what the Great Grandmaster has taught me. I know all kinds of techniques now. Use them. Prepare to be terminated. It's annoying that you're still obsessed with the fact that I didn't know who Sarah Connor from the Terminator movies was, and changed my name to that for a little bit. But then Hazel told me that that's from a movie and it's really lame, and that was the only time that I ever listened to him. Yes, I have you now. That one time you acted like a Trekkie, you were interested in Hazel, this person. Until now, you betrayed the clan master. Until now, it is over. And this is the end, my friend. You shall not win against me. I was the one who kicked one of the instructors in the nuts when they put an anklet on my ankle. Ha! It was me. I did it. Tag. Meow. 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 And as for the cat fight over there, they're actually somewhat competent fighters, and they appear to be doing the whole aggressive thing. I think those two should just get a room and take out their troubles in a different way, but you know what I mean. Yes, pent-up frustrations over their mates is very silly of them. If they only just were allowed to, shag every now and then, they'd probably be all right. Did you know that when our mission began 3 years ago, there was a 16-year low on my getting a shag? I heard about that, Commander. I trust the lull is no longer relevant, though. No, she's had at least one encounter since then, haven't you? Yes, it was fascinating. Perhaps we could discuss it over a sleepover sometime. Oh, goody. I'm just in time to see the two of them trying to kill each other. It gives me such satisfaction. It does me, too. I didn't know that. That's interesting. And also, did you know that I didn't actually have a thing for Odo? I was pretending to like Odo. He was actually really old. I was secretly shagging Bashir the doctor, and we had a child out of wedlock. And then we had to make it look like O'Brien's wife had the child. It just so happened that there was a shuttle accident and the kid was killed, so we just pretended it wasn't me and had O'Brien raise it. You're seriously a mess. Yes, I like whimsy, which makes me quite different from Holter's sister, who doesn't. And also, she wouldn't have done that Odo and Bashir thing, either. Perhaps she did not like taking risks. Maybe that's all it is. You liked taking risks. Perhaps. And it's interesting having finally met you, by the way. I take it that you were the one that was sending us information about Sillian realms all this time. I was, and also I let Belinda know all about the birth mom story, so that she could edit it, and was amused at how bad it was. But eventually, the Sillians let him hang out here. So, there you go. Do you mind that your mother's getting the tar kicked out of her? This is a glorious example of schadenfreude. It is, isn't it?
Oh dear, they're scrapping each other. They're barbarians. I didn't think they had it in them. They're actually taking out their aggressions. Does it remind you of anything? It does. It reminds me of Vista de Villa. It was a weird group back in the early 80s where they put a bunch of us, we were all in about 7th grade, in a room and thought it would be a good idea if some of us just wrestled each other. I didn't, but they thought it was a good idea. It wasn't. I remember you telling me about that several years later. That was stupid. Really stupid. And we can mention the name because it no longer exists. Well, technically Pine Hill as we know it does not exist any longer. The new version of it, the pseudo-Pine Hill as you called it, it's the school, the building, the footprint. But what has changed? A new generation has taken over, and another after that, having no recollection of us or any of this. Surely this is not the end of history, and we haven't run out of history just yet. No, it's not the end of history. Turn the page. Sure, there will be other schools and other adventures after us, and all of those space crews will go on boldly where none has dared go before, just as we did. I'm a traveler of space and time. I should take you across the universe and show you all the wonders of being a traveler. But I suspect you kind of already are, so yeah, about that. You rescued the ancestor of Soji from 2024 about a year from now. Time. Then, you went back for Lelantos and Rios and cloned him too. You kind of failed in your mission, Wesian. And now, you try to cover it up by trying to get the teen spirit from this universe, and it didn't work. Oops, my bad. The Starfleet security people have sent in a bunch of cadets. I see that. I wonder why they sent them in, huh? Maybe they wanted to show them something about this, or channel their teen spirit or something silly. The place is really silly, and I like it.
It does kind of grow on you, like a rash. Now, if this timeline is messed up so we're actually 4 years later than we should be, should we go back and just pretend it never happened? That would be incredibly convoluted and even sillier. No, we can't go back. It'd be wrong. Yes, that would be a little convoluted. Also, they never did find the teen spirit, whatever that was. Besides, it being a song from the 90s. I am Cadet Emoji, daughter of Scott Boys. The command staff sent us down to this planet to investigate. Report.
Cadet Emoji, I see. Yes, it appears the adults are having a hissy fit over there. Several of them have engaged in combat. Unfortunately, they're not very good, and they will hurt themselves. Should we stun them?
That'd be funny, but no. I don't think we should do that, Lieutenant. But you're the boss, though. You're Lieutenant. You could stun them if you wanted to.
I will not stop them. My human adoptive grandfather would call this schadenfreude. Yes.
The COL people are the most combative on the mission, and this is strange because they're supposed to be martial sportists.
It's probably the close proximity to the school. It has powers on its own as a thing, and makes them feel young as when the world was new.
Perhaps the planet has a Gryson Ob after all, but a different kind, one that generates youthful ambition.
I doubt the Zeldanian Nintendosis is still a threat to Sillian Earth after 35 years or more. It's probably not that. No, it's not that. It's just the proximity to other humans that are useful. It's not something they can put in a bottle and sell as some kind of snake oil, Captain. We are all but a fleeting shadow. Yeah, so what are we going to do now? All the world is clearly a stage, don't you think?
You're too smart for your own good, Ezri Locarno. We will meet again somewhere. Be assured that when next we meet, the test will be more difficult. She didn't solve this. It's fairly obvious. Where we are is some sort of youth center thing that they built on the site of the old Pine Hill. The building's the same, but they've converted it, transformed it, like a changeling.
Lucky clerk.
Emoji Boyd. Well, I see you're a first-year cadet now. So you can take these other cadets with you, out of this part of the area, away from that fight.
Yeah, Admiral, but they're not in any danger out here, right? I think they want to fight amongst themselves. Still, we're in command rank and shouldn't let people duke it out. Yes, I suppose I should order the other cadets to stun them, but I thought maybe you should do it, for old time's sake. After all, my father served on the Chimera. He did. He served on the first Chimera, the one in the 2380s. Chief engineer alongside Mr. Taleteller. Anyway, so I guess this is it. Till next time.
There is still something missing that you haven't quite come up with a solution for. The exuberance is not going to stay. You humans age too quickly. It's all part of humanity, Q, so it makes us unique among the Q, perhaps. Long ago, when the Q were actually more humanoid and remembered what it was like, well, they've been looking for what made them sick. I think that's why he keeps doing this. I think he's trying to get back there. So he does understand, in a sense, even though he's now a flaky demigod, or nearly so, or whatever that means. Oh, you, second-guessing. You're a wise one, too. A wise Alec, perhaps. Why do you think he put you on that prison planet all those years ago? To meet those individuals, and then to be redeemed. It was the Q that sent you in that direction. Changed your career path. Changed history. Why torment the COL people, then, Q? Why? Why torment them all? To prepare them for what is coming. To prepare them for things in the universe they cannot understand. But goodbye, Jean-Luc. All good things must come to an end. Oh no, Q. You're not going to leave just yet. But I'm sure they hurt. I was separated from my last lover, and the other one. That's okay. I'm sure they won't mind. They just took off. I guess you can snap us back any time now. Returning to the ship. Yeah, right.
Captain Ezri Locarno's log. Supplemental. We have returned to the Earth safe and sound. This will be the final cruise of the Starship Chimera under my command. This ship and her posterity will become the care of another crew. And to them we commit our future. We will journey to all the undiscovered countries, boldly going, where no one dared to go before. We were just about to leave the ship here in space dock, Captain. Whatever happened to us? All of that happened. It was bizarre, Captain. This Pine Hill we were at. It appealed to me.
Why do I have a hangover? Oh, that's right, the bar.
Captain, how did I not notice you were gone? I wouldn't worry about it. It was just cute. He was messing with us. Yes, he does that. Well, I think we dragged this on for too long. Are we sure we're going to the Academy? Yes, Mother. I guess we can't drag it on any longer than we wanted to anymore. Well, I guess this is it then. It's probably not the last time we'll be setting foot aboard the Chimera Bridge. Let's go. No, it's not.
Dun, 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 dun. Bum bum.
There's two of them now. Alert the Star Trek bestiary. There are two of them now. Greetings, Starfleet. Are you here to escort me to quarters or something? Yeah, we'll have to bring it up with the captain, but we can't have any more of you like this. Don't worry, as a larger species of Tribble, I can only have one more. Don't worry, I can only have the one. I named it Annie. Dun, 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 dun,
Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun. Captain, we have a situation down here. It seems the guest has procreated.
How many tribbles, Mr. O'Brien?
Just the one, sir. He named it Annie. It's about his size.
Oh, God. And the cargo supplies? It's a good thing we got to Earth when we did. It appears the other one doesn't have a bluegill inside it. It is not sentient. But it seems to be in perfect health. We have to deal with that later. I have to make a final log entry. Yes, Captain, we'll take care of it. The Star Trek bestiary will have to take over.
I'm Admiral Card, so hi. That is something. Dun 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 dun. So this is how it began in 1998 with Cal Hazel, similar to how it began at Pine Hill.
Yes, this is where it started. The original Milpitas site, kept here for posterity, even though they gutted it in 2004 and rebuilt it as a car rebuilding place.
Ironically, next to a police building. They started a cult next to a police building. I don't know why it didn't stop.
You couldn't have stopped it. You were all enamored with the Grandmaster and her awesome abilities, not realizing most of it was kind of made up. But you know what? I get where you're going. It was fun sometimes. Ending the cult, bringing the cult back, and the cult. I think maybe we prolonged it by talking about it so much. It probably would have gone away if we just ignored it.
No, you did the right thing. You should have informed everyone on the internet about what was going on, and you did. There's no place they can hide now anywhere. But I wonder, what happened after the Q flash? Wonder if they're still fighting each other. Maybe they were all conjured up by Q anyway. I don't know. We're sort of in the background there, but I think he probably just conjured them up because, Q.
I'm not too sure it was dreamed up, actually. If we were aware of it, all of us, and we were actually on the planet when it happened, well then, we may have to do this all over again someday.
I hope not. Matt, I'm glad you came back here. We must do something about you all scrapping each other outside of class. What, Wessigan? I outrank you by several ranks. You can't pull rank on me. On the contrary, Grandmaster Tomat. Igini is a warp sailor under my purview.
There you are. You found the device capable of bringing up the Sillian power at last. While they weren't looking, you snatched up the Grysonob itself. Here it is. Yes, and with it we will wish ourselves into a state of euphoric bliss, whereas we will be the COL city, planet, no, universe. Ha 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 ha. Yes, Ms. Talisman, Everest girl. I don't know what to do with you. Rest assured, I will figure it out. First, I will pull rank on you.
Wrong, my dearest. I put everything in an offshore account. I'm going to screw you all right now. Ha ha. I will pull rank.
I'm your wife. You can't pull rank on me. I outrank you because of energy.
Absurd. We are TMS. We are LWS. We are COL. Remember that. Oh, knock it off. No one's seen the actual Dr. Kim in years. She ran off with occult money in 2020 during the pandemic. Took everything. Saltine doesn't even know where she is. And they have no idea where she is. What are we even doing here anymore?
I know where she is. She's in an Alzheimer facility somewhere.
No, I will activate the weapon, and we will be invincible. Ha 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 ha. No, the weapon's gone, and so is Wessigan. What is that? I hunger. It's a creature. Use your Sillian powers. I don't have any Sillian powers. I'm just messing with you guys. I'm not going to eat you. I think I wet myself.
Don't tell anybody. Don't tell anybody. Dun, 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 dun.
Starfleet cadets, welcome to Starfleet Academy. This will be our first year under the tutelage of several key staff who know how to command starships, the sciences, engineering and medical, and all the other wonderful places for Academy cadets to be. I'm here as your commencement speaker.
So let us see what's out there. Engage.
Welcome, first years. I am Emoji Boys. Go with McLeod and she'll show you around. Very well. Ezri Locarno and Kestra Pickerly. Welcome to Starfleet Academy. For I dipped into the future far as the eye could see, saw the vision of the world and all the wonders it would be. Tennyson. I had no idea we had a poetry expert. I'm no expert. Not insane, but I just thought it would be funny to say it because I think that's what the Q was after. When he had us on the planet testing us, the human condition always confuses him. That's quite bizarre. I'm sure that you'll tell us about it. I'm sure you'll have many other adventures, and would be just as strange or stranger. Well, there was the time that I actually had a fascinating discussion about space and time and planets with Cal Hazel himself. Nothing weird happened, he just talked about the age of the universe and stuff. Is he a teacher or something? Sort of, but more of an amateur. So should we find out what classes you're in? Jokingly, they call this place the Ventura, you know. Or over the rainbow. Yes, Admiral.
So, I hear some of you have been where no one dared go before. Even recently.
That's right, sir, and we'll probably do it again someday.
One time I was visiting this planet. Well, there was this one time when I met Kestra. She was about 12 or so. And she was going to shoot me with an arrow.
Well, Admiral, the bow wasn't actually strung all the way.
Then the Rikers offered us bunny corn pizza for dinner, but Riker burned it.
A very amusing story, sir.
So, carry on then.
He's very unusual, isn't he? He's very unusual. I'm just wondering if this is it. This is it, Kestra. We're here. Dun dun. Dun 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 dun. Dun dun.
Dun, 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 dun. Welcome, fellow travelers, to this update of the antiquated vessel. I am the Q. I am the Q, Nomez, and you are aboard the ship. This is the Flyer, and now it shall be Khaki ship again. The Q could make it my ship if I wanted it to be. Oh no, it should be my ship. I'm the expert at everything, especially being a thespian. Why, I'm so thespian that I like girls.
I think you mean lesbian. And no, you're a man. You can't be a lesbian. That's not possible.
But we like the same thing, and you're such a cougar.
Honey, when you're my age, you don't want to do any of that anymore. Unless you get really randy. And you are not my type.
Oh yes, that's silly. But by the way, I took a little item from the TMS people before they could use it to destroy the universe. The Grice and Knob here. Yeah, you might want to put that away for safekeeping somewhere. Well, I hope you're on our side. Maybe. But I'm the Mozart of time and space, so I would totally know about that. So if neither of us are commander of the ship, then who is the commander of the ship?
Well, this is the past, I think. Must be Qute that did.
Oh my goodness, it's Khaki, Wolfie, and Mike. Well, welcome aboard the Flyer. Well, you're going to be on this planet, we're going to find the teen spirit, and be all powerful. Wait a second, hasn't this happened before? It happened before. Wolfie, do a scan.
These readings are impossible. It appears that we're hovering over the Miriam planet in the year 2003.
Well, of course it is, silly. Well, let's go forward and energize the warp drive. You have a choice. Stay here and die in oblivion. Or go with me, where no one dared go before. You've got to be kidding, Jamie. Who put you up to this? Was it me or the overlords? Anything. Who was it?
Well, if this is a test of my greatness, I'm staying here.
I'm staying here too. I'm far too important for my own sake. And now that I'm back in the past, I can replace myself and give them all kinds of future knowledge. I'll go with Wes, Back to the Future. A future that doesn't even want you anymore? That's ballsy. Well, as you wish. Past me, the ship is about to crash. And when it does, everyone will die, except you. I mean me. I will go with the Q. Very well.
Do you think they had any idea that this was just a test? I do not believe so. They are a primitive culture. What? Schrodinger's cat crawled out of the box, like Pandora's box. More like a universe sandbox. Let us go, sister. Perhaps we will start a TV show and call it Hidden Valley or something. I know a guy named McMahon and McTallis. Perhaps I can ask them. You crazy Q Sillians. You're going to break the universe again. We will not, because we were never here. I've done it. Queen of my own ship. Master of my own vessel. Ha 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 ha. Fools. I've done it. Fools. Dun 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 dun. Grandmaster, there's no one at the helm. We're going to crash. I shall take the helm. I know what I'm doing. I can play this organ. No, Karen, don't. Let's see. How does this button work? And where's the steering wheel? I don't know how it works.
You do realize she was a stereotype, right? She was called Captain Crunch for a reason.
This event is supposed to happen to another crew. Kiwagini, come back. Come save your Clamnasta. What am I doing? I can't fly a spaceship.
Greetings, Grandma.
Kiwagini, take me away from this, like a Calgon bath.
You are no longer Cougary, ma'am. I'm afraid I can't do that.
So you've come here to gloat at my misfortune, is that it?
I've learned a word from the talismans. It's called Schadenfreude. It means I take pleasure from someone else's pain.
You are evil, Mr. Agini. I can't believe I let you seduce me.
I don't recall it that way, but okay, ma'am.
You mean the other me got laid? The continuum has found you wanting. You have been judged.
Oh, shit. To be or not to be.